Under the bright California sun, her black iron hull glistens against the Pacific blue. Gulls cry overhead, and her masts rise proudly over San Diego Bay. She is Star of India, the world's oldest active sailing ship, and the last living echo of the great age of sail. But her story began far away, in the gray winds of the Irish Sea, and it almost ended before it began. It was 1863, the same year Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address. At the Ramsey Shipyard on the Isle of Man, an experimental new vessel took shape, not of oak or pine, but iron. Her builders, Gibson, MacDonald, and Arnold, worked for Liverpool's Wakefield Nash & Co., constructing a full-rigged ship for the Indian jute trade. They christened her Euterpe after the Greek muse of music and lyric poetry, a fitting name for a vessel that would one day sing across the oceans. She was 205 feet long, 1,197 tons, and among the earliest iron-hulled sailing ships, a daring step forward in shipbuilding. On November 14, 1863, she slid into the cold waters off Ramsey, unaware of the storms, literal and otherwise, that awaited her. Euterpe's maiden voyage began in January 1864, bound for Calcutta under Captain William John Story. But almost immediately, disaster struck. Off the coast of Wales, she collided with an unlit Spanish brig, snapping her jib boom and tearing her rigging to shreds. The crew, shaken and mutinous, refused to go on, and she returned to Anglesey for repair. 17 of the crew were confined to the Beaumaris gale at hard labor, a grim start for a ship not yet 3 months old. Her second voyage brought no better fortune. In 1865, a cyclone tore through the Bay of Bengal near Madras, forcing her to cut away her masts to survive. Limping into Trincomalee, she was repaired, but Captain Story would not return home. He died on the voyage back to England and was buried at sea, his body lowered through the same waters that had nearly claimed his ship. Sailors whispered that Euterpe was cursed. After those early disasters, fortune finally smiled on her. In 1871, she was sold to London shipowner David Brown, then soon after to Shaw, Saville & Company, who placed her in the booming emigrant trade to New Zealand. For the next 25 years, she carried hundreds of hopeful souls to a new world, part of the human tide reshaping the Southern Hemisphere. She circled the globe 21 times, each voyage a grueling 100 to 140 days through storms, doldrums, and roaring seas. Life below deck was harsh. Passengers packed in tight, surviving on salted beef and hardtack, enduring seasickness and the endless groaning of the iron hull. But Euterpe endured, her iron plates flexing through every tempest, her spirit unbroken. Children were even born aboard, one christened with the middle name Euterpe in honor of the ship that carried them to a new life. By the end of the 19th century, steamships had conquered the trade routes. In 1897, Euterpe was sold to Hawaiian owners, and soon after to the Pacific Colonial Ship Company of San Francisco. She hauled lumber, coal, and sugar between Hawaii, the Pacific Northwest, and Australia, still under full sail, but now a relic of a passing era. Then, in 1901, the ship was purchased by the Alaska Packers Association, who re-rigged her as a bark, converting the square-rigged aftermost mast to fore and aft. In 1906, the association changed her name to be consistent with the rest of their fleet, and she became Star of India, a name that would outlast all others. Every spring, she carried fishermen and supplies from California to the icy Bering Sea. Every fall, she returned heavy with canned salmon. For 22 seasons, she braved fog, ice, and Arctic storms. One season, she was trapped in the ice. Another time, she went aground in Hawaii. Yet always, she came home. By 1923, though, even the most stubborn sailor could not outrun the steam age. The Star of India was laid up, her logbooks closed, her decks silent. In 1926, the old ship was bought by the Zoological Society of San Diego. The plan was grand, to turn her into a floating aquarium and museum. But the Great Depression hit, then World War II. For decades, she sat forgotten, rusting away under the California sun. Then, in 1957, fate intervened. A famous mariner and author, Alan Villiers, visited San Diego and was horrified to see the once proud vessel decaying at her moorings. His words inspired a local movement, and in 1959, the Star of India Auxiliary was formed to save her. It took years of scraping, hammering, welding, and fundraising. But in 1976, more than a century after her launch, Star of India set sail once again, a living testament to the age of iron and canvas. Today, Star of India lies proudly at the Maritime Museum of San Diego, just off North Harbor Drive. Her iron hull is nearly 100% original, a rarity among preserved ships, and she still sails under her own canvas, guided by a dedicated volunteer crew. When the winds are right, she leaves the harbor for a short voyage along the California coast, the oldest active sailing ship in the world. She is more than just a museum piece. She's a survivor. From the storms of the Bay of Bengal to the icy waters of Alaska, from mutiny to decay to resurrection, Star of India has lived more than one lifetime. And with such a long life, it's little wonder some say she's haunted. Visitors tell of cold spots near the bow, the infamous chain locker, where a Chinese sailor was once crushed beneath the falling anchor chain. Others whisper of John Campbell, a 14-year-old apprentice who fell from the rigging in 1884. They say his spirit still roams the deck, his footsteps echoing through the night watch. Even skeptics admit, when the ship creaks under a moonlit sky, it's easy to feel you're not alone. The Star of India is a ship that simply refused to die. From the industrial dawn of iron shipbuilding to the age of flight and space travel, she has endured. A bridge between centuries, a teacher of history, and a monument to human perseverance. Every year, thousands of children walk her decks, learning what it meant to live, work, and dream at sea. And every time she sets sail, the wind hums through her rigging, a song first sung in 1863, still playing 160 years later. The sea remembers those who dare to cross it, and the Star of India, born as Euterpe, will forever be remembered as the ship that never surrendered to time.